I found the readings for this week really helpful and insightful, especially after our discussion last week in class. I really enjoyed the critical conversations chapter. I thought that it was very eye-opening, and the more that we've been reading about and talking about having those difficult conversations, the more I've had time to reflect on my own experience as a student in a high school English classroom, and the more I've realized how much I lacked those difficult conversations in my English classroom. I honestly can't remember a single time in my high school experience where we openly talked about race or social issues or anything along those lines, anything uncomfortable in my classroom. As a student, when I was a student, it was very taboo. We just didn't really touch on things like that, which is very shocking to me now, because in all of my classes since I've started English education, and even in my own English classes now as a student, like in my literature classes that I've taken at UGA, all we've done is talk about those things, and it's been very helpful and very insightful. And I think that the reason that I'm I think afraid of those conversations is because I lacked them so much, and I feel like I lack a lot of perspective when it comes to that kind of thing as a person who has faced very little discrimination. I'm afraid to bring it up sometimes because I don't want to speak on something that I don't personally understand or personally know about. But readings like this are definitely helping me to understand the importance of having those conversations, and of course, educating myself first. But yeah, just how important it is. So I really enjoyed that. And then I also really enjoyed the articles, the one about Real Talk, or I guess that was a podcast. And then the class discussion strategies, a lot of them I had never heard of, and they sound like a lot of fun. I highlighted the hot seat one because I think that one in particular sounds like a lot of fun, and I would have really enjoyed that as a student. One question that I did have that's kind of still rolling around in my brain though is, especially today was our first day out in the field in practicum, which was amazing. And I was in a 10th grade class, and it was on level. And I'm just wondering how realistic these strategies are with an on-level high school or middle school class, because sometimes you get a group of kids that is just really easily gets off track, or maybe they're not as mature to have difficult conversations or to do a kind of move around the class discussion. Sorry, I'm running out of time. And so I'm wondering how realistic those things are, or how can you modify them when you have a class that's more rowdy. But yeah, those are my thoughts from this week.